What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, we got some interesting news, man. Eddie Hearn is now claiming that Danny Jacobs could possibly get the fight with Canelo Alvarez, CINCO DEMAYO, May 4th weekend, should he be victorious against Sergey Derevyanchenko next Saturday, October 27th. This is the claims that Eddie Hearn is making. He's saying that should Danny Jacobs be successful in because they're fighting for a vacant IBF title, and we know that this is Danny Jacobs' last fight on HBO. HBO packed it in, so now it's looking like Danny Jacobs is going to be a free agent. And of course, it only makes sense that he signed with MATCHROOM, that he'll fight on DAZN. And now we know that DAZN just signed Canelo Alvarez to a 11 fight, $365 million deal, which would put Danny Jacobs in a perfect position. Danny Jacobs in a perfect position all the way around, seen as though Demetrius Boo Boo Andre, who's fighting for the vacant WBO title, who also, if should he be victorious, he also fights on DAZN as well. So this puts Danny Jacobs in the perfect position to unify, because he could either go the Canelo Alvarez route or he could go the Demetrius Andre route. Either which way, he'll be the IBF champion. Canelo's the WBC and the WBA champion, and Demetrius Andre will be the WBO champion, and should he be victorious this Saturday. So this is real interesting, man. This is what Eddie Hearn had to say. And it leads me to believe that him and Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions have been in talks already, because Eddie Hearn seems real convincing in this situation, man. He states that obviously we're all in the same boat, said Hearn, whose company Matchroom Boxing has 32 dates, with DAZN, so on and so forth, right? He says an excellent chance. He says. And it's an excellent chance that if Danny Jacobs can win the world title next Saturday, that he will go on and fight Canelo Alvarez in May. That's the carrot that's been dangling for Danny Jacobs, as if they've been leading him to believe that should he be victorious in this fight with Sergey Derevyanchenko October 27th, next Saturday, should he be victorious, he said the carrot that's been dangling to him, should he be victorious, that, he would get a fight with Canelo Alvarez, right? Makes sense. Seeing as though Oscar De La Hoya and Canelo Alvarez probably already knew that they were going to go to the DAZN route. They probably was already in talks with DAZN. So he says that, he talks about when the fight between Canelo Alvarez and Triple G was in limbo, that Oscar De La Hoya and Team Canelo reached out to Danny Jacobs, and he was, the front runner should Canelo Alvarez have not faced Triple G. Remember when Triple G, that whole fight was in limbo over Triple G stating that, he wanted a bigger share. He felt he deserved it, especially since Canelo Alvarez failed the drug test, so on and so forth. That's when they was going through that whole spout. And so he's saying that Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy reached out to Eddie Hearn and Danny Jacobs to make a fight with them. He was going to be the replacement. Danny Jacobs was set to be the replacement. So the fight was actually in negotiations, Danny Jacobs said, late in August. You know what I'm saying? He said following a press conference, with the Derevyanchenko, So, Danny Jacobs said something interesting. He said he believed that he'll stop Canelo Alvarez. This was his thoughts. He was asked about it. He said that he think that he'll stop Canelo Alvarez, So, man, this is big news, man, because this puts Jermall Charlo, man, out of the running, man. He's in a messed up spot, Jermall Charlo, because he's going to be frozen out, man. Should Demetrius Andre be victorious? Should Danny Jacobs be victorious? Jermall Charlo is going to be frozen out, man. The WBC is not going to force Canelo Alvarez's hand to face Jermall Charlo. I'm telling y'all now. Especially they're gonna use it's not standing with Sean Porter. But guess what? They're gonna use the model that unification bouts trump mandatories. I'm telling y'all, in favor for Canelo Alvarez. I'm telling y'all that's what's gonna happen. And Jamal Charlo, man, you gonna need to show up to these press conferences. You're gonna need to show up to these events. You're gonna need to show up to these fights, man, and call these fighters out, man, because they're gonna hide behind the zone. They're gonna hide behind their promotional companies. And truth be told, with 3 title holders at the zone and Golden Boy, with the zone and with Matchroom and Golden Boy, Jamal Charlo, they don't need Jamal Charlo. It could be at least 2 fights, at least a year before any of these fighters need to face Jamal Charlo. Because let's say Danny Jacobs fights Canelo Alvarez, like they stating that it's a possibility that he fight Canelo Alvarez May 4th. CINCO, they even put the date, Cinco de Mayo weekend, May 4th, 2019. Should he face Canelo Alvarez, right? And the unification, so that won't be to next May. And then Demetrius Andrade beats this dude and be victorious. He's already talking about he may end up facing Billy Joe Saunders. And we know Billy Joe Saunders is going to campaign to get his title back. So that puts, and why would Demetrius Andrade, he says that he wants to face Jamal Charlo. But he never says he wants to face Jamal Charlo. He actually favors to face Jamel Charlo first. So, you figure he's fighting this week. Billy Joe Saunders got 6-month suspension. I don't see Demetrius Andrade fighting, let's say, 6 months. So he's not going to fight in the rest of 2018 at least. So you're talking November, December, January, February, March. So Billy Joe Saunders will be back in the spring. That sets up a fight for both fighters, for both fights. May for Canelo Alvarez versus Danny Jacobs, and the spring for Billy Joe Saunders, Demetrius Andrade. Billy Joe Saunders, Demetrius Andrade. The fight that was supposed to happen with a storyline. So looking like Canelo Alvarez may face Danny Jacobs should Danny Jacobs be victorious. And the mere fact that Golden Boy and Canelo Alvarez team reached out to Danny Jacobs to make a fight with him in August as a replacement for Triple G. He was the front runner, and negotiations was in late August for a September bout. Man, that's interesting, man. That's interesting. But let me know what y'all think, man. I personally believe that Danny Jacobs is going to get that fight should he be victorious versus Derevyanchenko on next Saturday, October 27th. So let me know what y'all think, man. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media Row. Y'all already know what it is. Make sure you like and share these videos. It's your boy Blue. That's all I got for y'all, man. Peace.